Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Thursday, April 13th, 2023, and I am here to go over the 5-game main slate in the MLB tonight. It starts at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. If you are new to DFS Coach Talk in our channel, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when the newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, you can join us. Join us on Twitter. Send us a DM at DFS Coach Talk. We have our MLB special. You can join us for $19 for the rest of the month. And we are a very family-friendly, very encouraging, positive Discord community. We post Draftkings cores and Fanduel and Yahoo full lineups for all the major sports on the days they're happening. So we'll have, of course, Major League Baseball. We'll have the NBA play-in. We'll have the NBA playoffs. Probably have some PGA and some UFC if there's any of that this weekend too. Maybe some NASCAR. We cover all those. So hope everybody's having a great day. Let's go ahead and get right into this 5-game slate tonight. We're going to start out with the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Cincinnati Reds. It is Bailey Falter against Nick Lodolo. Cincinnati is a 135 favorite on the money line. It has an over-under implied total of 9 runs. It's a 78-degree temperatures with wind blowing right to left at 5 miles an hour. We have projected lineups for the Phillies: Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, JT Real Muto, Nick Castellanos, Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott, Edmundo Sosa, Josh Harrison, and Christian Pache. And then we have for the Reds, we have Jonathan India, Spencer Steer, Will Myers, Tyler Stevenson, Kevin Newman, Stuart Fairchild, Kurt Casale, Jose Barrero, and TJ Friedel. Let me go ahead and take a look at the chat. We've got a small slate today, so I'm going to try and get as in-depth as you guys want to go. What's going on, Nathan Stacks, David Dulac? What's up, guys? Let's bounce back. Last night was a little bit rough. I mean, I know we had some sites that we still cashed on and everything, but I just want to really crush one of these slates soon, and hopefully tonight's the night. I have a pretty good feeling about the slate tonight. The next game is at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Minnesota Twins taking on the New York Yankees. Joe Ryan against Johnny Brito. We have New York at minus 150, has an over-under of 8.5 runs, 87 degrees with the wind blowing out at 11 miles an hour. So should be a pretty good slate for hitting, a good matchup for hitting, I should say. You have for the Twins projected lineup: Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, Jose Miranda, Trevor Larnach, Donovan Solano, Nick Gordon, Christian Vasquez, Edward Julian, and Michael Taylor. And then for the Yankees, DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, Gleyber Torres, Oswaldo Cabrera, Jose Trevino, Franchi Cordero, and Anthony Volpe. Next game is at 7:07 p.m. Eastern. The Detroit Tigers taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Spencer Turnbull against Chris Bassett. Toronto's minus 230, over under of 9 runs. It's indoors, so there's no weather. We have a projected lineup for the Tigers: Akil Baddoo, Riley Green, Javier Baez, Kerry Carpenter, Spencer Torkelson, Nick Matone, Miguel Cabrera, Jonathan Scope, and Eric Haas. For the Blue Jays, George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Dalton Varsho, Alejandro Kirk, Brandon Belt, Matt Chapman, Whit Merrifield, and Kevin Kiermaier. 7:45 p.m. Eastern, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Vince Velasquez against Jordan Montgomery. St. Louis is minus 255 on the money line, 8.5 implied runs, 78 degrees, wind blowing right to left at 8 miles an hour. The projected lineup for the Pirates: Key Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutchen, Carlos Santana, G-Man Choi, Connor Joe, Rodolfo Castro, Mark Mathias, and Jason DeLay. The projected lineup for the Cardinals: Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Gorman, Jordan Walker, and Tommy Edman. Last game of the night is at 9:40 p.m. Eastern, so 2 hours later. The Milwaukee Brewers taking on the San Diego Padres. Bryce Wilson against Nick Martinez. San Diego's a minus 150 favorite as over-under of 9 runs. The wind is at 10 miles an hour, blowing out at 55 degrees. Projected lineup for the Brewers: Christian Yelich, Jesse Winker, Willy Adames, Rowdy Tellez, William Contreras, Garrett Mitchell, Brian Anderson, Bryce Terang, and Joey Weimer. The Padres: Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Nelson Cruz, Jake Cronenworth, Ha-Sung Kim, Austin Nola, Trent Grisham, and Jose Azocar. All right, so my favorite pay-up option at pitcher is going to be Nick Lodolo. He's 9,400 on DraftKings, 10.8 on Fanduel. He's not on the Yahoo main slate. He is on the all-day, and we did put him in there in our all-day lineup, so hopefully he crushes it. He's going up against the Phillies. He just faced them in Philadelphia last Saturday. He pitched 7 shutout innings with a career-high 12 strikeouts for 61 fantasy points. The Phillies so far have had the 5th highest strikeout rate this year. So I do like Lodolo. I do like him better when he's on the road, though, because it is a hitter's ballpark. But I still think he's in a pretty good spot against a strikeout-heavy lineup in the Phillies. And they've been dealing with injuries to Rhys Hoskins, and, of course, Bryce Harper's still out. So they're a little bit shorthanded and still dealing with the World Series hangover, too, I think. So like him against the Phillies. Joe Ryan has had really good starts against the Astros and the Royals. Pitched 6 innings in both games, had 6 strikeouts in both games, and he had 10 strikeouts against Houston and 6 against the Royals, 42 and 43 fantasy points. So very good, solid numbers for Joe Ryan. Tough matchup in the Yankees ballpark, 87 degrees. But I still think he's a pretty solid option where there's not a whole lot of great options on this slate. The other option I like is Jordan Montgomery. He's 8,500 on DraftKings, 9,400 on FanDuel, and $41 on Yahoo. Had an excellent start last time in Milwaukee. He pitched 7 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts for 58 fantasy points. Last year, he went up against the Pirates twice. He pitched 6 innings, had 5 strikeouts in both games, and allowed 2 runs in both games. So solid, 35 to 40 fantasy points, somewhere around there is what I would expect from him. But, not quite as strong as Lodolo or maybe Joe Ryan. Chris Bassett, he's in a good matchup against the Tigers, but I'm going to fade him. I just don't have a good feeling about him tonight. So I'm going to be fading Chris Bassett. Hopefully he's highly owned. But, I think Lodolo is going to get most of the ownership, but I could see Bassett getting some decent ownership too. BVP play of the day is going to be Tyler O'Neill. He's 4,500 on DraftKings, only 2,400 on FanDuel. So that's an absolute steal. $16 on Yahoo. He has gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, but this guy has absolutely crushed Vince Velasquez. He's 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and a single. Small sample size, but like I said, when you've got 2 home runs and only 4 at-bats, that's pretty impressive. So I like Tyler O'Neill tonight, especially on FanDuel at only 2,400. My favorite stacks are the Cardinals and the Padres. I do like my home run call is going to be Paul Goldschmidt. He's 357 against Velasquez with 5 hits and 14 at-bats, 4 singles and a home run. So Goldschmidt's my home run call. My Prizepicks plays of the day are going to be Nick Lodolo, more than 7.5 strikeouts. Like I said, he had 12, career high 12 against them on Saturday. And I do think he can get at least 8 today. But don't think he's going to get 12 again. And then my other play is my home run call, Paul Goldschmidt, more than 8.5 hitter fantasy score. When he was in Coors, he was at like 9.5, and I didn't like that number quite as much, but 8.5, I do like that number for him to go over that. So that's going to do it. Like I said, it's just a small 5-game slate. Does anybody have any questions? Let's take a look at the chat. Mr. Fay, how do you say that? I'm not sure. Or Fe, maybe. I don't know. Good to have you here. Charlie, what's going on, man? Glad you're here. You like Bassett a lot, David. No, you're not necessarily wrong. I just think that he's going to get quite a bit of ownership, and we saw it in the opening day start against the I think it was opening day or opening weekend for sure against the Cardinals. He got absolutely blown up. He allowed, I think, like 9 runs or something crazy like that. So. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for the baseball podcast today. I'll be back again tomorrow. Probably going to be more of a normal schedule with the main slate having most of the games. Might be a couple early games. I haven't checked the schedule yet, but we'll have probably more to go over tomorrow for sure. And then we also have the NBA playing games with the Bulls and the Heat and the Thunder and the Timberwolves. So we'll have lineups for that as well. I'm not sure if we're going to have a podcast for that. We may let you guys know as soon as we know that. But I hope everybody has a great night. I do prefer these smaller slates, so hopefully we absolutely crush this one tonight. And we'll be back again tomorrow as we look to crush MLB and DFS Prize Picks. Thank you.